Let's learn about metamorphic rocks. There are three types of rocks, and rocks are classified by how they form. We've already learned about igneous and sedimentary, so metamorphic is all that's left. What do you think of when you hear the word morph? Pause this video and write down some ideas on your notes in the space provided. Morph means to change, so maybe you wrote down something like a butterfly that goes through metamorphosis, or maybe you've worn a morph suit on Halloween. And down here, really weird, George W. Bush morphs into Arnold Schwarzenegger. So they change. Metamorphic rocks form from intense heat and pressure deep below Earth's surface. So remember that heat and pressure, on your note circle the H in heat and the P in pressure, and then in the word metamorphic, circle the P and the H. So that'll be a visual clue to help you remember how metamorphic rocks form. They form from intense heat and pressure deep inside the Earth. Which rocks can become metamorphic rocks? This intense heat and pressure morphs or changes existing rocks into other kinds of rocks. Exposure to these extreme conditions deep below Earth's surface actually changes the rock's texture and its composition into a different rock. So it's not the same as it was before, it is chemically changed. Any rock can become a metamorphic rock. So igneous rocks can be changed into metamorphic rocks, so can sedimentary, and even other metamorphic rocks can undergo further changes because of intense heat and pressure, and they can turn into different metamorphic rocks. There are two kinds of metamorphic rocks. They are foliated and non-foliated. First, let's look at the foliated metamorphic rocks. These rocks have a layered or banded appearance that's produced by heat and pressure. Think deep inside the earth, smashing or flattening the mineral crystals. And so you can see in these examples, in the top example, this is nice. That is a nice rock. It has really well-defined bands where you can see that the mineral crystals were smushed into flattened bands. Below you see phyllite, and it has kind of lighter color banding. And then slate, it looks kind of smushy, but they're actually like bands of different mineral crystals that you can see kind of swirling inside the rock material. The second type is non-foliated metamorphic rocks. Non-foliated metamorphic rocks do not have a banded appearance. So you can see it's just kind of smooth or uniform or blotchy. And this top example is marble. Below that, this orange one is quartzite. This black one is called anthracite. And then this really pretty blue one is called lapis lazuli. And it's actually also a mineral, but sometimes minerals can also be rocks. Remember, the definition of a rock is one or more minerals plus the option of having some organic material. So lapis lazuli is just one type of mineral. So here are some different rocks, kind of like they're before and after intense heat and pressure deep inside the earth. So sandstone is a really beautiful clastic sedimentary rock. When it undergoes intense heat and pressure deep inside the earth, it changes or morphs into quartzite. So you see the before and after. Granite is an intrusive igneous rock. You can see it's really coarse-grained, large crystals because it was formed inside of the earth near a volcano. And when it undergoes intense heat and pressure deep inside the earth, it changes or morphs into gneiss. And you can see that this one, do you think this is banded, foliated, or unfoliated, non-foliated? Yep, you're right, it's definitely foliated. And coal, on the left, morphs into something called anthracite, and this is also known as hard coal. So coal is do you remember, it's a organic sedimentary rock, so it's made out of the remains of dead plants and animals. When it undergoes intense heat and pressure over millions of years, it smooshes, all of its mineral crystals together and changes into a new rock called anthracite. Limestone, do you remember this one? It is a chemical sedimentary rock that forms when seawater evaporates and the minerals that are left behind crystallize. And when it undergoes intense heat and pressure, it changes into marble. And marble is a common rock in North Georgia. There's a marble quarry in a town called Jasper, and people pay a lot of money for marble to use in their kitchens and bathrooms. Do you think it's foliated or non-foliated? You see any bands in there? I don't. So it's definitely non-foliated. All right, here's an example of continued metamorphosis. So shale is a sedimentary rock, and when it undergoes intense heat and pressure, it turns into a metamorphic rock called slate. When slate is exposed to intense heat and pressure, it changes further into phyllite. And phyllite is a metamorphic rock that can undergo more intense heat and pressure and turn into schist. So here's your vocabulary review. You need to know that metamorphic rocks form from intense heat and pressure deep inside the earth. There are foliated metamorphic rocks that have mineral crystals that have been flattened into bands. Non-foliated metamorphic rocks have no bands. All right, so here's a challenge. Do you think that diamond is a metamorphic rock? Think about how diamonds form. And the definition of a rock. A rock is one or more elements, and it can have organic material. So you learned that a diamond is a mineral, and it's the hardest mineral on the Mohs scale. Diamonds are made of carbon deep inside the earth, where there's lots of intense heat and pressure. And because it's only one element, it's carbon, exposed to intense heat and pressure, it is a metamorphic rock. All right, here's another one. Can you find fossils in metamorphic rocks? So think about what kind of conditions you would have to have in order to find a fossil, and would you expect to find those kind of conditions where metamorphic rocks form? Write your answer and a justification in the space below.